trade queens on move 6 basically, so what to do?
Okay, so queen d5. Any other concept you were thinking of?
No, I think bishop z4 is logical. I mean, a few moves were kind of... yeah, I mean, I sort of had some hopes with his knight on b6, but okay, black's in time to...
I remember queen takes d4 to be honest, but well, it should be very close to equal, of course.
Any hesitation in this position? Any other concepts, or it was more or less straightforward for you with this knight d7 and?
Yeah, I think I needed to do something right away because otherwise, like Mickey said, bishop e3 can come, and it's well, my knight is definitely misplaced on b6, so knight d7, knight c5 looked like a logical plan. And after knight b2, I was considering knight c5 briefly, but I don't think it was that great, right? White can just go bishop c2?
Yeah, I mean, bishop c2, knight d5, bishop d4, but okay, it's not much development for black, so could be risky. b4 is a threat probably to kick black back. So yeah, I wasn't sure about this for black.
Yeah, bishop c5 looked more sensible.
By the way, I think Abdusattorov has won the game because Sam went wrong at some point. So knight d4, knight f6.
Yeah, I mean, knight f6, I have to admit, I was thinking after knight d4 about e5 a lot, which is, yeah,
e5. E5, sorry.
No, e5.
With a e5.
And okay, I guess some knight c2, take knight e3, knight c5. It's not very much, but maybe I was thinking knight dc4, some hopes, but actually this knight f6 was just better with the idea of knight d5, and okay, there are no tactics, so I guess black should be fairly safe now.
a5 expected?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. I mean, my first two thoughts were either king e7 or bishop d7, but then I thought a5 looked playable, but it's not really achieving much, to be honest. After bishop c2, it's not clear what I achieved with a5. It feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, it was not clear. I wasn't sure if he was trying to play for a win in this position or if it was just a normal move. I mean, I don't think it's a bad move to control. The b4 square was quite useful several times later.
Bishop d7, knight f3. Want to go here, huh?
Yeah, I think I have to activate the knight before bishop c6.
Long castle. Any hesitation here? It's normal, right?
I think it's just normal. I save some time and the king is useful on the queen side, so I think it's a normal move.
At this point, I was considering bishop c6, and then let's say after knight e5 or knight d4, I can just go knight fd5 perhaps, and then let's say knight c6, bc6, rook he1. And I wasn't sure who's pressing here. I guess it should be fine for black.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is not so bad for white, I think. I mean, if anyone's better, it's white, I guess, with the bishop. I thought just rook hd8 was maybe the simplest way for black if you want to be safe, instead of bishop c6. I thought just rook hd8 and then maybe even bishop e8 I thought was quite... You don't need to... Because there is no real rook he1 ideas. So.
The thing is, here you can go in different ways, right? And sometimes it's... Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely lots of options, but what we got in the game felt a bit unpleasant for me after he got knight e5 and g4.
Okay, let's check it. So, knight e1, g6, stopping knight f5 stuff. Knight e5. Any comment here?
Well, okay, I wasn't expecting
exchanging
bishop a4, but maybe white has some ideas. I mean, bishop e8, probably I play f4, and sometimes I can play f4, g4, f5. The problem is black's king is not completely safe. There's still enough material left could be a bit awkward. I mean, bishop a4, I thought looked risky. I don't know. I mean, this should be a critical position. I don't know if rook d4. Maybe there's just nothing, but it looked to me a bit risky for black. But maybe I was just being too optimistic.
I suppose g5, knight h5.
Even knight, yeah, or even knight d7. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it looks that you have good pieces, but some exchanges will happen. Yeah.
I mean, I could also play f4 here. Maybe that was just a bit of a slower move, keeping more options.
So we went for rook d4 and now rook d8.
Yeah, I mean, rook f4 is maybe a bit interesting there also. But
Yeah, rook f4, I was looking at g5, rook f3, knight bd5.
yeah. So I guess maybe I can start with h4, maybe.
h6.
Yeah. This was the problem. I couldn't quite find something here, yeah. So, okay, so take on g5, take on d5 and c4, but then this rook c8 was annoying me. Yeah, rook c8 is quite important because then if rook b3, there is b5. And somehow I'm not really in time. Maybe rook c8, rook c3, but I guess I'm not really better anymore. So maybe it just was not. Maybe I'm just, don't have enough time to really create anything.
Okay, so instead of rook f4, you played g5.
Yeah, knight h5 was a good move because maybe knight d7, maybe I can take and rook h4. Maybe then this pawn on h7 could be a bit annoying, but knight h5 was a good move. And okay, if I had time, but black is going to be in time with f6. This is the problem too.
Yeah, I think actually after g4, it was important not to play h6, let's say, because after h4, I wouldn't have been able to go for this f6.
Yeah.
So
No, the knight is much more cemented on e5 actually after h6 to keep the pawn. No, the only idea in the game was to go knight c4, but I guess it just doesn't really work.
after f6.
Yeah, I mean to go knight 5 c4 here. No, not to take immediately knight c4.
Knight 2.
c4, yeah. Because I guess knight c4, rook c4, but I think black probably just takes on g5.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should play king d6 or just take on g5. And here, yeah, let's say fg5, rook c7, king d6.
Yeah.
And then rook b7, rook f8.
Rook
in
f8.
Some kind of arrays.
I mean,
Like knight c4, king d5, knight a5, rook f2. I don't feel like white's probably risking, right? Because the g pawn.
it's hard to know actually, because black also has a lot of pawns and knight f4, and my pawns are not very quick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's probably not a very practical thing for white to do at least, but I was a bit hopeful about it initially.
So you took on f6.
But
Knight
okay,
takes.
now of course we're fairly level, because c4, rook c8, rook c5. In fact, I'm not even, I should also not be too.
So c4.
Black could also actually get better here. If I have,
Somewhere.
I think rook c8, rook c5, I thought I don't really want a rook on h5 or something, so.
Yeah, I thought the only way to try it was to play a4 at some point to fix the pawn on a5 and try to.
Yeah, maybe, but still rook c8, rook c5, I always thought this was a good plan for you.
Mm-hmm.
So king d2, knight d5, takes.
Well,
He
I think by
takes.
now we were just getting to move 30 really, and yeah.
Taking with the knight.
Well, then there was always maybe some rook h4, or even just c4 should be comfortable for white. So,
So he takes f3, controlling the e4 square,
yeah.
covering c5. Normal game, yeah. Probably good opening choice, right? In terms of solving some problems, but not easy to create. And also for you, Michael, it's not easy to outplay from that position, solid position. Normal day in the office.
It was okay, yeah.
So, plans for the second part of the tournament, the final part?
Well, we're playing again tomorrow, no? It's not a free day, so...
Yeah, in general.
Okay. It's one game at a time for me.
Okay, good.
Well, I guess first place is almost out of contention now, but
Okay. Okay, thanks for joining. Good luck in the final games. And after commentating 2 draws, now we have a winner, Nodirbek Abdusattorov. Congratulations. Let's check the game. We were a bit surprised with the opening, but it paid
Yeah.
off. It was
Yeah, I was also surprised. He plays coach, but yeah, I wanted something fun and opted for bishop c5, knight b3, bishop b4, which is a sideline, c3, bishop e7. It's considered to be a bit better for white, but okay, it's playable. So I just want to get a game and go from there.
f4 is a normal move in this position.
Yeah, f4 is very logical because I want knight f6 and d5 quickly. So he's preventing knight f6, f4, like knight f6, e5, knight e4, queen d5, and my knight is trapped.
Okay, so knight h5.
So yeah, d6 is very logical, bishop d3, knight h6, all normal, castle, castle, knight d2, f5, knight f3, king h8, ef. Yeah, here maybe I rushed bishop takes f5. Maybe I could have played something like d5. So during, but I was not sure about it. But
This
yeah,
looked very dangerous. What you played.
yeah. But after g4, I hesitated because I could also play knight h4.
Yeah, we were
take
calculating
g5. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it because my bishop is stuck and he can bring his knight, like knight d2, knight probably I can play queen d7 with the idea like if he plays queen h5, I have queen h3.
Yeah, this we were showing this.
Yeah,
And
because
I know
I
there
had
is
some tricks,
yes.
yeah, bishop f2. So he has to play like knight d2, I thought, after queen d7. And I wasn't sure. Knight is coming to f3. Okay, I thought
Too risky.
it's, yeah. Okay, I opt for passive, but I mean, more logical, knight h6. Knight fd4.
Is h3 a move or knight
Yes,
d4?
he can start with h3. Just we'll probably will get something similar. Knight fd4, queen d7, f5, knight e5, so logical h3, knight f7. Yeah, here I was kind of I was sure that my position is objectively fine, but I mean, it's hard to say because he has this huge space advantage and e6 square for his knight. But
Are you planning to sack at some point on e6 or just leave it that knight on e6?
No, I just want to leave it. Like I can also, I mean, I have always this g6 breakthrough, opening up his position, and yeah, I thought I was counting on this g6 move as in the game, like g6. Yeah, he played king h2, I believe.
Malcolm, join us.
I'm going to join you. Yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah,
Nodirbek,
thank you.
on another great game.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed watching it. We were debating how you would deal with the knight on e6, whether you would try to exchange it or whether you would play around it.
No, well, at the end, but I sacrificed at the end.
Indeed.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I mean,
You just got rid of it.
But later than we expected.
yeah.
Okay, so
King
king
h2.
h2 was this.
Yeah, it's logical. I mean,
Okay.
just bishop f6, knight e6, rook g8. Yeah, I was happy with my position because it was very complicated and it's I like to play such kind of positions because I will always have some winning chances. So yeah, and it's objectively I think it's completely fine for black.
It looks scary a bit, but when you dig
But
a bit
okay,
deeper,
I mean,
yeah.
if you just calculate and
You have enough control of e5, yeah?
yeah, I have enough control, and I have G file.
And actually, this king is safer, right?
Yeah, I
This
think
is-
H8 king is much safer than White's king. So Rook E8 is logical. Rook D1, Queen E7.
Okay, you're moving away from the X-ray.
I
and-
thought Queen A. I can play Queen A4, but okay, I thought it's dangerous because you can play Knight PD4, and I thought, yeah, I mean I don't know what's Queen is doing on A4.
What is the queen doing now?
Yeah.
and you don't want to take this pawn.
Yeah, okay, I thought Queen E7 is much more logical.
Okay. Knight
Knight
D4.
D4, Knight G5, and here I was a bit surprised with his decision to give up the bishop. Like
I
take
said
Knight
I was
D5.
not watching with the engine. I said that this concept when taking and then this rook lift was probably start of a
Yeah,
wrong
of
plan.
course.
Something
He should just take on g5 with the knight, I guess, should he? Or?
Yeah, Bishop G5 and
But maybe even after Bishop G5, something else here. But what?
no, here I
It was strange. This Knight B5, Rook D4.
yeah, Knight B5. After Knight D5, it gets very concrete because he's also threatening. C7 pawn. I have to react to that, and I calculated very long line after Bishop H4. I was expecting after play Bishop H4, and I was calculating Rook G1 as main move, like
Yep.
Bishop G3, Rook G3, Rook G3, King G3, Rook G8, King H2, Knight G4, H-G, Queen H4, King G2, Rook G4, King F1, only move, because take, and take.
Yes.
So Queen H1, King F2, and here I at least have a draw with Queen H4, but maybe I could play for more with Rook G2. I thought Rook G2, King E3, Rook takes E2, King takes E2, Queen E4
Queen
check,
e4, yeah.
King D2, and here, yeah, I was calculating Queen D5.
Maybe there's some Zwischenzug here somehow.
No, I thought, okay, Queen D5, he has to, move the knight BD4,
Okay.
and I have C5.
Right.
So you broke your record from I can see. How many moves you calculated? I can see it was line of 10 moves, something like that.
And now
Not
what's
yet.
happened?
It's
what
still
happens
10.
what happens?
Something like that. And Gukesh is totally winning. But I said, if someone can save that one, that's Rauf Mamedov. And Rauf, not that he managed to sell this. Suddenly he regroups, he plays with the queen. Gukesh starts burning some time. And then Gukesh lost completely control. And in the end, Rauf was winning. But as I said, you need to have different profile. And then I would not allow Rauf to play that position. I would rather see someone with a great technique, Caruana or I don't know. But in terms of saving lost position, Rauf is very high on the list. So is Gawain capable of pulling another miracle here? It doesn't seem so, but as I said, I would never underestimate his resources. We have a move? Not yet. Why the clock is ticking? Hang on. We have a move. Queen D8. And now it's Pavel's turn. A5, A6 possible, but then I can maybe sack a knight to get at least one pawn, to get rid of one pawn. B7 also, of course. This looks really horrible, but as I said, sometimes it's point in those positions to give your opponent time to think. So B7 played. It looks to me that it's dead lost. So probably there is no way to come up with anything here. It's just B7, A6 is coming, and this pin actually disturbs black a lot because queen is overloaded. King needs to be moved. I believe that we should see the resignation very quickly. If this would be a blitz game, I would still give some chance for Gawain to come up with something. But in classical, it's really too much. 17 minutes is more than enough to get through the complications. But as I said, I admire his approach playing King's Indian. If you play King's Indian, immediately I give you 10% of respect. King's Indian these days, as I said, who is playing King's Indian? Let me recall. Okay, Croatian grandmasters Zdenko Kožul, he was European champion 2006. He only plays King's Indian. His career was 2640, but that's not that level. Who is playing King's Indian? Ivan Šarić, Croatian best player, around 2700. He was playing, but he added Slav defense, so he's not playing all the time. Who is playing? I think Gawain is the main advocate now. I will somehow recall some player. I have a feeling that I'm missing some name. Who is the one playing King's Indian? Still playing it. For example, you have Benoni, and then you have Levan Pansulaya. Now he took a silver medal at the European Rapid Championship. He just plays Benoni, nothing else, only Benoni. Is he rating 2650 or 25? He plays Benoni. Trying to recall who is the one playing King's Indian, but there is probably no player except Kožul who is just playing only King's Indian, nothing else. Nothing else matters. So King G7 pinning himself. Basically he didn't solve the pin. Also X-ray is around, but at least he has entangled his queen, which is a good sign. But pawns are far away. Rook B8, threatening B8. And usually when pawns are only one step away from the promotion, miracles happen. Yeah, this queen C3 really disturbs black's position. That's a big issue. Queen of C3, it's a fabulous piece. Some statue after the game, maybe Pavel will prepare for this queen. So queen B8, A6, probably. You don't want to take on C6. You don't want to move the queen from C3. So if you go A6, is queen A7 some idea? Maybe. Pavel still thinking. Gawain trying to complicate Pavel's life. I know one player who is also playing King's Indian, but these are 2550 players. Denis Kadric, Montenegrin grandmaster. So, Pavel, okay, he's aware that he's totally winning, but still, he doesn't want to give any chance to his opponent. I know Pavel a bit more, better than Gawain. If I'm not mistaken, I only played once versus Gawain, and it was Blitz tournament in Dubai. He crashed me in some Sicilian with the white pieces, while against Pavel I played few times, if I'm not mistaken. We played for the same club, And these days, Pavel is working as a coach. He worked for Georgian women team. For whom else? I'm trying to recall. So, very strong player. By the way, Ukraine has won the gold medal at the European Team Championship with fantastic performance of Igor Kovalenko. That's a fabulous player. I think his performance was above 2800. Igor is really a great player. Unfortunately, because of known reasons and aggression to Ukraine, he was at the front line, not playing for 3 years, and now he's back to the board. And I'm so happy to see him. He played European teams, like winning game after game. Yesterday I was with him. He played European Rapid and Blitz. I just came from that tournament. Igor is a fabulous fighter. You know, at some stage there were like players. You have players who are having good repertoire, they're playing classical chess, exploiting mistakes. I would say that these are like typical good players. But you also have players who were not so good in terms of openings, very narrow repertoire, in terms of maybe even, I don't know, studying some classical setups, maybe hanging pawns and so on, but they were like fabulous fighters. I will name few names. For some of you, you might not be even familiar with them. For example, top 10 players. Belyavsky, fantastic player. I think 4th in the world, 27 something. He can play main line, but he can play completely some off bet line and no chance for a draw. He will play for a win in any chance. Miha Gurovic, they were joking that you have microscopic advantage and you have guroscopic advantage. Microscopic is bigger than, or let's say guroscopic is even smaller, tinier than microscopic. So Misha Gurovic, he was world number 10. He would just sit at the board, no like opening preparation to playing French defense, playing some fianchet, but super force, winning after tournament. Then you have, for example, Julio Granda Zuniga, fabulous player, maybe world number 16. He doesn't know theory, he sits some fianchetto, some Sicilian, but enormous fighters. And you have, as I said, players like Evan Jones, very creative, very capable to win when they are on fire, skillful in creating chances. So in chess you have different profiles. We don't have same profiles, but especially you have different profiles, I don't know, from 2550 till 2680. And you have players who are having ups and downs in their careers, while you have players, I respect him a lot, I played twice against him, losing once, making a draw once. For example, Grandilius. Nils Grandilius, 2650 for 15 years. He just go a little bit up, a little bit down. He's capable to win. He's capable of winning against any top player. He can lose against some weaker player, but basically he's 2650, and for him was hard to make a breakthrough above 2700. So you have like many players who were stable sitting on 2650, but it's hard to make a breakthrough. This is very interesting, picturesque position with this queen. Pinning rook came to b6 with the point of rook takes c6. So you see how white was flexible. You play one concept, pushing the pawns, the passers, but then you switch to exploiting the pin by creating a pressure over the 6th rank. Very nicely played. And it's funny, sometimes I'm watching games of, as I said, talented players like Gawain, and I said, okay, now it's over, we will see the resignation, and then comes another resource. So I'm curious, will we see the resignation now? It looks like it should happen, but as I said, they are so capable of creating chances. Is it the moment to resign? Maybe. You can also find in historical books, but also in tournament practice, so many games where someone prematurely resigned. But this is understandable if it happens, because it really looks desperate. Black would love to come somehow closer to the king, but that's not possible. And I believe that you know which piece is the best blocker, and that's not a queen, that's a knight, sometimes even bishop, because if you are blocking somewhere far away, that bishop can block and do some work on the other side. Let's check Praggnanandha's game. Once again, I wanted to speak a little bit more about Ivic. We can stay with the camera here, but regarding Ivic, so Serbian Grandmaster, Serbia took a gold medal at the European Team Championship 2 years ago with two Russians, but they are living in Serbia. Sarana, Predke was playing board number 1, Sarana board number 2, then Injic, European champion from 2024 in Montenegro, very talented player. Injic, by the way, I think won yesterday this rapid in China with Dingley Ren and I don't know who was playing, all those top players. And then Ivic is board number 4, very stable player, very solid, playing normal openings, not risking too much, but when he gets he gets initiative growing, then he's quite capable to win even against top players. So I'm not surprised that Velimir is here doing quite well, holding against Praggnanandha. When I was in World Cup, Praggnanandha lost. Trying to recall against whom Praggnanandha lost in the World Cup. But then there was this World Corporate Championship, so he paid a visit. And he was very polite, visiting all the tables, it was team event with 11 teams. He was making ceremonial move on all tables, watching the games. So Praggnanandha is very professional, very entertaining. I asked him a few questions, for example, which gambit is sound these days? And then he said, every gambit is sound if you check it with the computer. And then he mentioned that he played it at the candidates. Was it some advanced Yanish or something like that? But here he didn't want to do it versus Ivic because, as I said, Ivic is very, very solid. We have some moves. So Rook was here on G1, then taking on F5 was not possible, but now Black took. And Pavel is thinking to take. If you take on C6, there is Queen B7. Check. King, let's say F8. Because if I go G8, then there is Rook E1, Rook G1. Rook C1, Rook G1, so you go to F8. Not clear how I'm winning this one. so he needs to calculate. Take c6. What is an alternative? a6, but I don't see that I'm threatening much. So Pavel still needs to dig a bit. Yeah, I was mentioning Pragnananda, and it was funny, for example, at Club Cup a year ago. So there are many players. 2 years ago, Magnus team from Norway, Offerspiel, if I'm not mistaken, Offerspiel means like gambit play. They won that event, but last year they were not playing, this year as well. So last year, Super Chess, they had a following lineup. So first board was Gukesh, world champion. Okay, at that time he was not the world champion. He was about to play the match. So Gukesh first board, second board Abdusattorov, third board Pragnananda, which sounds really crazy that you have a team with Gukesh, Abdusattorov, Pragnananda. Fourth board was Deak, Romanian best player. Fifth board was Jordan van Forest, penny 700, winning Wykanze, Magnus Carlsen second. And sixth board, which people tend to forget, so they were like naming that the team with Gukesh, Abdusattorov, Pragnananda couldn't win the event. And not that they couldn't win the event, they even ended up sixth. But what's funny, it's not a problem with that. It's problem that on the sixth board, who was sitting on the sixth board? Sindarov was board number 6. And that team, so once again, Gukesh, Abdusattorov, Pragnananda, Deak, Jordan van Forest, Sindarov, they came as 6th. Not even close to a medal. And this year with Gukesh, Gukesh, Jordan van Forest, Sarana, Deak, Darda, and who was, I'm missing one player, they came first. So a6 played. In the end, he didn't take on c6. But this is not so simple. Like, you invested a lot of energy, you outplayed your opponent, then you want to get some free job done. You don't want to calculate at that moment. And suddenly your opponent is inviting you to think which direction to take, how to avoid counterplay. And some players are too exhausted or like fed up of finding the right moves. But this is the difference. While top players are top players. By the way, I like those chairs. You know that there was one tournament, I think it was in Azerbaijan, Gashimo Memorial or something like that, where players could choose their chairs. So tables were fixed, but you could choose which one you want. And then there were options like of some office chairs. Then there were like, really, it was so funny. I don't know they wanted to have fixed arm parts. Then there was someone who wanted to have chance to spin a bit. So it was so funny. Every player had a different chair. And of course, I believe that you remember famous 72 match where they even checked the chairs and there was nothing there except, I don't know, 2 dead mosquitoes, because they were saying that, someone was saying that Bobby Fischer is getting some help, some signals through the chair. And only 2 mosquitoes in the end, 2 dead mosquitoes. Okay, players, a6 just played. What is now Gawain up to? Is there any chance to muddy the waters? Okay, he's motivated. Usually this is the part of broadcast when I start telling some old stories. Usually Bobby Fischer is high on the list. This is my favorite player, of course. I admire Magnus and Kasparov. By the way, during Goa World Cup, we had this World Corporate Championship, and I had some master class, but I did also quiz. And the winning team, they got 13 points out of 20. There were some easy questions like how many subscribers Chessbase India has, and then you can get it somehow. But there were some tough questions. For example, my favorite question: why didn't Icelandic TV? Why Fischer was not visiting Icelandic TV during World Championship match against Spassky? And then I give you four options. One option is he asked for $5,000 additional fee. Then second answer was he had a contract with CBC. Third answer was he was annoyed about the cameras and everything. And fourth answer is Icelandic TV, they don't broadcast in summer. And only few people knew that that's the correct answer. There is no Icelandic TV in summer. They are having a leisure time. Only few people knew this. And some other questions, for example, what was occupation, or let's say what Viktor Korchnoi studied in his life. And then I give you some lawyer, like law faculty, economics, mathematics, history. So quiz can be fun. One question: which player ate steaks before the game? Right before the game, and I give you possible answers: Viswanathan Anand, Karpov, Carlsen, Kasparov. And only few people knew. So Anand, vegetarian, but okay, I'm not sure that I know Vichy quite well. Before he was vegetarian, I believe that he's still, but I'm not fully sure. Now I'm trying to recall, we were having some dinners together. I think he is still. Magnus was eating salads before the round. Karpov, Kasparov. And Kasparov's point was that at that time he was very well prepared. And he had like really big team, and he was always good in preparations, and he was the one who realized that very quickly that it's important to use computers, databases, and so on. And so he would come to the game very well prepared, but at that time games were much longer. So your opponent can think the game can take like 5-6 hours, and his concept was at some point the game will be long, I will have a good position, better position, because I was very good in openings, so I need energy later. And that's why Gary was eating steaks before the game. And you have also this famous story when Petrosyan Fischer was playing against Amanov 6-0 first match, then he was playing versus Larsen 6-0, and then he was playing versus Petrosyan. And that match was actually, there were two bidders. One bidder was Yugoslavia, second bidder was Argentina. Bobby Fischer wanted to go to Argentina because of time zone. Petrosyan wanted to go to Yugoslavia because of similar time zone. Intermediator was Gligoric. Svetozar, at that time he was world number 3, or close. He was very strong, and he was acting as an intermediator. And he was translating to Bobby, because Bobby knew a bit Russian. He knew also Serbian. Petrosyan was not speaking English so well, and they were discussing, trying to discuss the match venue, finals of candidates tournament. and of course Gligoric was rooting for Yugoslavia, but he couldn't say it openly. And there was a famous sentence. They are discussing, and at some stage, Bobby says, steaks are good in Argentina. And then Gligoric is translating to Petrosyan, steaks are good in Argentina, and then they are starting to speak 500 grams, 750 kilo, good, and I don't know about cow and so on. And after 20 minutes, Fischer realized, okay, Petrosyan says, but food is good and we all like steaks, but it's about chess. It's not only about the food. And then Fischer realized that actually Gligoric translated wrongly. He said steaks are good, but Fischer was thinking the stakes are high, and that money price in Argentina is much better than in Yugoslavia, and that's how the match ended up in Argentina. So stakes are good, but stakes are also high sometimes, yeah. So here, stakes are good, rook c6, and you have this famous electricity incident, but let's leave my war stories for some other days. What's going on? Something happened, a6, Gawain is thinking, rook c6 coming, not clear. How to muddy the waters here? I don't see it. He took on e4. Okay. So rook c6 now looks like a normal move, but I don't know, is f takes e6, e4 also? If I take on e4 and you take with the knight, I can exchange the queens. This is what I've spotted. And this should be winning, but now it reminds me of that game I mentioned, Malakhatko versus Gawain Jones, because now if I take, let's say that this is kind of position, I would survive maybe, but here there is b8, and you cannot sacrifice this. Can I say? No, I cannot. So rook b1. Okay, that's why Pavel is sitting there and I'm sitting here. Rook b1, much better move, I believe. At the studio in the Club Cup, I was doing a commentary, so Pavel came and he was having a day off in his team. And I asked him about some players and about Mamedyarov, for example. And then he said that he had a really tough time with Shak. If I'm not mistaken, last year Mamedyarov was here playing in London Classic. And he said, I was losing a lot versus Mamedyarov. And then at some point, I think that Ivan Sokolov also has said the same. Then Pavel says, and then I started to guess his moves. So this is very important against those players. Shirov, Mamedyarov. I forgot about Shirov, by the way, creating a mess. Because you cannot play a game with suddenly every second move you are surprised by your opponent. He said I was losing heavily. And then I started to guess his moves, and now I have plus score in last 4 or 5 games. King g6. As I said, Gawain is a fabulous player. Easily he comes to g6 and he will try to hide on f5. This is classy. By the way, yesterday was Andy Murray here. I'm so sad that I was not here because I have many tennis players, Croatian tennis players, friends. Ivan Ljubicic, he was world number 3. And he was Roger Federer's coach. And I asked Ivan. Ivan is a big chess aficionado, having a rating of 1800, play even some Croatian league, chess league. And we play tennis, and it's funny, when Ivan is with me, I ask him tennis, and he asks me chess. And I'm not interested in chess. I want to hear something about tennis, and he's not interested in tennis. And then it's always the same. One question, he replies, and then he asks me a different sport. By the way, he was Roger Federer's coach. And you know what Roger do? What Roger does? He plays bullet. Roger Federer plays only bullet on his mobile phone. Under a minute, and if I'm not mistaken, there were some nicknames of Roger Federer, but that's not correct. That was actually, it was revealed somewhere, but that's not true, because Ljubo told me about Roger Federer's nick on chess.com. And if I'm not mistaken, Roger is something above 1,000, maybe even more in bullet. Maybe, I think that Ljubo told me about his rating, but I'm trying to recall. Then you have Marin Cilic. If you follow tennis, Marin Cilic won US Open. He was Wimbledon finalist in 2017 here in London. He lost versus Roger, but he was injured. Marin likes to follow Agadmator and some other chess content, so I'm trying to bring him to my VIP chess evenings. You have Borna Čorić, world number 12, beating Roger twice, Nadal 3 times. Borna is a big fan of chess, and I sent him I sent a screenshot of Andy being here, and they immediately, greetings to Sir, pass the greetings. But as I said, unfortunately, I was not here yesterday, so I was so happy to see Andy around. If I'm not mistaken, his son played chess, but maybe I'm wrong. So, King G6. Okay, now it's not so simple, because Pavel is down to 6 minutes. If Gawain manages to pull a miracle here, head of fabulous. I love to see some perfect games, but I also like to see some turnarounds, because this is show of talent. Of course, I know Pavel a little better. It's not connected with personal things. Disclaimer, I'm a big fan of Pavel. He's my generation. I was born in '83. And that generation was quite strong. The best one is Magnus' generation, with Magnus, Nepo, MVL, if I'm not mistaken. And you have my generation, '83. This is Ponomarev, Bakro, Grishchuk, Dominguez, whom else? Many players, like above 2650. Queen E3, not a simple move. Not a simple move, but creating a threat. I told you, it's very important to be able to create a threat, because this is a hidden threat. It's not so obvious, and also you are X-raying your queen, but as I said, that's why those players are super strong, because they are able to create threats on some squares where you don't wanna go. Queen E3, threatening A7. Malcolm is running somewhere to join me? Come. Yeah. So, that's for you. 1-1-1.
Okay, yep. No, I suppose what I wanted to say about this game was I just thought that the opening was rubbish for black.
Complete
I did not understand it at all. I mean, it just lost a pawn.
Yeah, so regarding this King's Indian, either you push d5 with some super subtle way, or you create some mess with some knight g5.
Well, you've just got to get something going on the black squares. I mean, just something on the black squares. I mean, I don't know. I thought he would go queen e7 now or something.
You should pretend that you are preparing some d5 or something. Because
but you can't prepare d5 after you've given up the bishop pair.
Yeah.
That's not an option. Your only option strategically is to play on the black squares. You know, H6,
Yeah,
knight H7,
95, 97, something.
I mean,
yeah.
there's a wonderful game where Caruana beat somebody. I can't remember who it was, but it came from a slightly different move order. But the idea was the same: take on F3, take on D4, play on the black squares. I mean, I don't know, something like Queen E7 might have been possible here. I mean, I was a bit nervous.
Or at least to be passive a bit with 98 even, and then.
Well, I wouldn't show my hand just yet.
Yes.
I mean, I don't. C5 is coming, right? You can't possibly allow that. So
Queen E7.
Queen E7 was. I mean, you've got to watch out for some knight D5s here. Like even Bishop C1 is not a completely stupid move here, by the way. Threatening knight D5. It's even not
Not at all.
not totally stupid. So, but at least this way you might be able to get maybe knight D7, knight E5, or H6, knight G5, or just some. I mean, black's position would be a position if you could get the black bishops off, right? Then if he could do that, and you know, here there's like bishop E5, bishop F4. At least you're playing strategically.
I agree.
But instead, he just lost a pawn. I didn't get it. I
So
didn't,
let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a deliberate act. Just one thing. So, I mean, obviously, white doesn't have to allow takes on F3, but he figured it was just
yeah.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Why
was
not?
just good, so why not? Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, Queen A5 is a wasted move, to be honest.
Maybe here's something super subtle.
Well,
but
okay, so I mean, another way to try and play this strategically is to try and give up the bishop for the knight. And play with a knight against the dark bishop. So, you know, let's imagine that the bishop and the knight, the black bishop on G7 and the white knight on C3 were not on the board. You could put your knight on E6 and, you know, maybe on an incredibly good day. I mean, it would have to be on an incredibly good day, but you might have a position. So, I don't know, I'd be looking at something like knight E8 now.
Yeah, because
and take on C3, you know?
I was mentioning, let's say that we get rid of those pawns, you might hope for some kind of salvation on this side.
Oh, sure. If all the pawns are on the same side of the board, then you can survive. But I mean, I thought maybe something like knight E8 might be possible. But I mean, it's probably just rubbish. But rook D7, bishop takes C3, pawn takes C3. Oh, yeah, okay, queen takes.
Let's say queen
Yeah,
takes.
actually, queen takes is very good. Because now I can't go rook B8 because bishop F4. So it's probably just lost.
Okay,
but I
you
mean,
can-
even this, actually, we're still playing
but
chess.
The bishop C5 will come, and
Yeah. But maybe even here.
yeah, even here, as you said, just transfer this knight and
Put it on E6
Yeah,
and try and play
yeah,
chess. You know,
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. At least you're competing.
because here,
It just looks horrible. It's just. I mean, the thing about this is that there's no imbalance to explain why I'm a pawn down. I mean, I know there's a slightly weakened king side, but you know.
yeah, because this now looks really like
The other thing I thought he might try instead of this bishop maneuver, if you go back a couple of moves, the only other move that made sense to me here was trying to play F5. I don't know if it's legal.
yes.
At least trying to get some counterplay against F4.
In some countries, it's still not forbidden.
Yeah, because if you go E5 now, we can go bishop H6 and knight G7.
Yeah.
You know, something, but probably just knight E2, and it's ridiculous. I don't know.
Okay,
but at least we're
transfer
playing.
and
At least we're playing chess. That's all I mean. Yeah,
Got your point.
yeah. It
So-
might be horrible, but yeah. But what we had was horrible, right?
Okay, around here, still, I have a feeling that something could have been done around that.
But really, I mean, why? Because white's got so much power on the queen side compared with black.
Why not to play at least this A6? Let's.
Oh, I would definitely swap a pair of pawns.
Yes.
every day of
Yeah,
the week.
yeah.
I mean, I would have gone.
Yeah.
I would have stopped B5. I would have gone A6
Yeah.
and made him go
Yes.
A4.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, every time you swap a pair of pawns, you get marginally closer to a draw, right?
Yeah. Usually they say when you are ahead in material, you shouldn't exchange pawns. You should exchange pieces. While being down material. Exchange those guys
Yeah.
because.
One's
Yeah, maybe
just,
he missed this nice, but okay, it's
one,
not.
one's just making progress all over the board. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks super stable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a winner. Is he
Well-
coming here, or we can?
Well,
Is he coming here?
he'll probably come, but make it a pretty quick
Yes.
post-mortem if you
we
can, please.
We can even do it without. It's up to you. You're the boss.
Well, we don't need a post-mortem on this one,
Yeah.
particularly as actually
Yeah,
I'm inviting you out for dinner. So
that sounds
sounds like
a
the
deal.
better
And
option,
I
yeah?
believe that
Yeah.
Pavel also understands that.
Yeah.
Gavin just Misplayed it.
miss something, or something went wrong
Yeah.
with the preparation, you know, because this is a fairly one-sided event, right? Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for the invitation, gentlemen, and guys, thanks for following, and see us tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Abdusattorov running away with it, right?
Yeah, but okay, we will see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks very much for watching.
Thanks for today.